Okay, solving rational equations, and now we're going to do it with a different method than the proportions method. Fun fact, pandas don't particularly, don't have sleeping spots. They just fall asleep wherever they happen to be. Sometimes I feel like a panda because I just fall asleep wherever I am. Okay, this one. So now we don't have just one fraction on both sides. So we need to figure out how to get rid of our fractions. Well, we can get rid of our fractions by finding the least common denominator and multiplying it to everything. Okay. Before we do that, we always want to write our restrictions first. So 2x can equal 0, which means x cannot equal 0. Okay. 4 cannot equal 0. Duh, we know that. X cannot equal 0, which we already figured out before. Okay, so those are my restrictions. It's just x can't equal 0. Now we have to find a common denominator. So I'm going to look at our denominators. We have 2x, we have 4, and we have x. Well, 2x is the same as 2 times x. 4 is the same as 2 times 2, and x is the same as just x. So to find a common denominator, well, I'm going to take the 2, I'm going to take an x, and I'm going to take another 2. The common denominator here is 4x. This right here should have been purple. So I took these 2's together to give us that one. I took this x and this x together to give us that. And then the last 2, because we have to include everything, comes down there. So 2 times x times 2 is 4x. So I'm going to take that 4x, and I'm going to multiply it to everything here. Okay. First, I'm going to distribute that negative sign. So I get 1 over 2x equals 1 over 4 plus negative 1 over x. Now I'm going to multiply everything by 4x. So I have 4x times 1 over 2x equals 4x times 1 over 4 plus 4x times negative 1 over x. And I'm just going to make these into fractions there because I think it helps us see this a little bit better. And then now I'm just like reducing rational expressions. So there, the 2x cancels the 4x, leaving us a 2 on top. The 4's cancel, leaving us just an x. And there, the x's cancel, leaving us a 4. So here, and you could also, if you want to, say like, well, this one cancels this one cancels this one cancels that one. Doesn't really matter when you're dividing by 1, it's the same as like whatever you start with anyways. But from that first part, I'm left with a 2 times 1. Second part, I'm left with x times 1. And then last, I'm left with 4 times negative 1, which is 2 equals x minus 4. So x equals 6. Okay, let's do another one. So this one right here, we want to start by factoring. So if you can ever factor your denominators, factor the denominators, okay? So that a squared minus a minus 30, well, you want to see what multiplies to be negative 30, adds to be negative 1. It's negative 6 and 5. So those both factor to be a minus 6 and a plus 5. So we can find our restriction. A minus 6 can't equal 0, which means a can't equal 6. And a plus 5 can't equal 0, which means a can't equal negative 5. And it's same for those other two. Now we need to find our common denominator. So the first one we have the a minus 6 and a plus 5. Second one we have a plus 5. And the third one we have a minus 6. And you should be able to tell just from looking that this is just missing an a minus 6. Right? Because we can get that a minus 6 from there, and then the a plus 5 from there. So our common denominator is a minus 6 times a plus 5. Okay. So I'm going to multiply that to everything here. So I have a minus 6 times a plus 5 times 1 over a minus 6 a plus 5, and then same thing for the second one, and same thing for the third one. And I can put this over 1 to help us see this a little bit better. So in that first one, the a minus 6's cancel. Then there, the a plus 5's cancel. Here, the a plus 5's cancel. And here, a minus 6s and a plus 5s cancel. So on that first one, I'm left with 1 plus 3 times a minus 6 equals 3. Well, 3 times a minus 6 is 3a minus 18. So that's going to be 3a minus 17 equals 3. Add the 17, you get 3a equals 20. Divide by 3, so a equals 20 over 3. Okay, let's do another one. So this one, 5 over v minus 1 equals 2 over v squared minus 7b plus 6 minus 1 over v minus 1. So I can factor that. I want to see what multiplies v6, adds to be negative 7. Well, it's negative 6 and negative 1. So that's 2 over v minus 6, v minus 1. So I can distribute that, and that just becomes plus a negative 1 over v minus 1. Now I need to find my restriction. So v minus 1 can't equal 0, which means v can't equal 1. And then v minus 6 can't equal 0, so v can't equal 6. Now to find our common denominator, we have v minus 1, v squared, or v minus 6 and v minus 1 and v minus 1. So the v minus 1's obviously in it, and so is the v minus 6. So our common denominator here is v minus 1, v minus 6. I'm going to put those over 1 to help this look a little bit better. So you multiply it to every single fraction in there. The first part, the v minus 1's cancel. Here the v minus 1's and the v minus 6's cancel, and then the v minus 1's cancel. So here I'm left with 5 times v minus 6 equals 2 plus negative 1 times v minus 6. So that's 5v minus 30 equals 2, and then distribute that in, so negative v plus 6. So that's 5v minus 30 equals negative v plus 8. I'm going to add the v over, and I get 6v. Add the 30 over, and you get 38. Divide by 6, and you get v equals 38 over 6, which reduces to 19 thirds. Cool? All right. That's all. Bye.